Today's lesson is part 2 of how to read a textbook on your own. We'll be using the SQ3R process along with the Cornell note-taking method. In part 1, we learned about the first 4 steps of SQ3R. Here is a quick review. The first step, surveying, is when you preview the reading. You look at the headings, highlighted words, pictures and captions, and the review questions. You also ask yourself if you know anything about the topic and check to see if the text has a preview of the main idea. The second step, questioning, is when you write down a question that you created from a heading, or that you found in the section review, or that the teacher gave you. This helps focus your reading. The third step, reading, is simply that, reading to find the answer to your written question. As you read, you pay attention to the bolded and highlighted words once again, and you slow down as necessary if the text gets too difficult. The fourth step, reciting, is when you say your answer to the question out loud, and then write it down on a sheet of paper. Today, we will learn about the last step, the fifth step, in reading a text on your own. Step 5 in the SQ3R process is reviewing. You do this over several days. The first time you review, it will probably be with your teacher. You may review with the lecture or with a PowerPoint. Regardless of how the teacher chooses to review the material, a good idea is to use a different color pen to make your corrections. The second time you review, start by briefly surveying the text again. Then, go to your Cornell notes. Cover the right side, which has the answer to the question, and ask yourself the question from the left side. See if you can orally recite the answer from memory. Another option is that you can take another piece of paper out and write down what you think the answer is. Make a flashcard for any question that gives you difficulty. The third, fourth, and fifth time you review, and yes, you should always extend your studying over several days to make it easier to remember. You should alternate between using your flashcards and going over one of your Cornell sheets using the technique just mentioned. By the way, eventually you'll probably have more than one Cornell sheet because your teacher has probably asked you to read more than one topic. A little before the test, if you haven't received a study guide, you can make one on your own. You do this by making a list of all the topics the teacher asked you to learn. With your remaining time, make a spatial map. We'll talk about this some other time. Or write a paragraph about each topic. If your teacher has the time, perhaps he or she could look at your spatial maps or your paragraphs to give you study tips. So, to sum up, step 5, reviewing, will take way longer than the other steps because you spread it out over several days. That's the basic SQ3R process. It's extremely effective in reading history textbooks, so it's a good technique to know. Goodbye for now.